So 3 years ago, I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and it took me 2 years of wanting to be the most self-developed person in the entire world before actually taking the first step. So I wanted to get the best camera equipment. I fully prepared myself, like meditating, journaling, exercising, like building my physique before I ever took the first step to getting in front of the camera and finally speaking. And what I learned was that it doesn't truly matter. When I first started this, I believed that I had to be the most self developed to get in front of the camera and start speaking. And the point is that this in itself is a skill. This is a skill. It's like, anything else. It's like going to the gym, you build up the skill of doing that. And I believed that if I would do all of the other things, it would prepare me to better be on camera. It would prepare me to be a better influencer. And it really comes from this fear of wanting to be perfect, wanting to show up in a way that people will accept me. That was truly how I felt. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted people to like me for who I was. And it even caused me to kind of act in ways that wasn't truly my authentic self. And so I learned that going forward, what I want to do is really document my journey and my mistakes and my challenges and what I'm going through on a day-to-day basis, like, how difficult it really is. Because sometimes when I'm waking up and the bed is cold and like the room is, dark, and outside it's dark, like, and you have to get up and you have to put in the work, like, these days are to be documented, they're to be shared, right? Because there are certain things that happen in in those circumstances that don't get shared, and then you guys aren't able to actually learn from it. And I think those experiences, when documented authentically, are going to be the most impactful. I've seen it with so many cases where, like, I'll be watching something and then I'll come away from it and I'll think to myself, if this is someone talking about something that they had overcome years ago, it just doesn't really have that same kind of impact as when it is something that just recently happened. No matter how much you guys prepare for anything, you will never be able to prepare enough, because you're not going to be able to understand what the next step is. The only thing that you can understand right now is like step two, right? You know the following step, but you can't foresee what the next challenge is until you get to step two. And for me, I've always wanted to be like, 10 steps ahead. I've always wanted to be 20 steps ahead. Sometimes I overthink things so much, like I'm such a deep thinker, to where I will be thinking about what I need to prepare for, so that way I don't have to, go through it. I don't have to struggle. But the truth is that the struggle is going to be there anyway. And the whole point of this journey is to go through the struggle. And the difference between believing and knowing, that is something that I have learned in this that is so crucial. Because when you believe in something, there is a chance that that thing might not happen, right? Because it means that there is just a chance that it might not happen. But when you know, the way that you know your mother and father, you know certain things about yourself, right? Your qualities, your strengths, your weaknesses, you know these things for sure, okay? Now, these things that these things are like cemented in your brain. That means that they are going to happen regardless. They are going to happen, okay? And as an example, when I first got into the gym, I knew that I was Like, I had certain beliefs about myself that I knew that I was genetically gifted, that I would look amazing when I put on more size, that I could put on more size, that I was, you know, able and capable to do all of these things, that it was possible for me. I never attached certain labels to myself, like I'm a hard gainer, or like these, you know, excuses and these beliefs, these false beliefs that would just hold me back. I completely stripped them away. Like, of course, like at some point I had them, but I knew that if I kept hanging on to these beliefs, that they were just going to hold me back. So I just stripped them all away. And I think if you guys are also in the same kind of journey where you want to, you know, build your body, you want to become a better version of yourself, then the first thing that you need to do is really analyze what your beliefs are. Like, what are they? Because if you currently believe certain things that are holding you back, then you need to figure out what these beliefs are and just completely strip them away. And I help a lot of guys do this in my program, in my one-to-one mentorship. And like, it's crazy how many beliefs we hold on to subconsciously about what we can achieve, when there is truly no reason why you can't achieve something if you give it 110% every single day. And you, because really the best thing ever is when you go to bed at night and you know that today I gave it everything. I couldn't have done more today, and I showed up for myself, and I showed up for the future version of myself, and I truly gave it everything. There's nothing more that I could have done. That is the best feeling ever, right? And my guys who train with me, they know that whenever we go to sleep, we know that we did it. We gave everything. And that feeling of just knowing that you did your best effort, because you know, it doesn't need to be a 10 out of 10 day. Like, sometimes a 5 out of 10 day where you gave it 110%, that is still a 10 out of 10 day, because you gave it everything that you could. So that is just like one of the things that I've kind of learned from this. And another thing is that you will never really be able to exceed your level of personal development, your level of really developing yourself, right? And I feel like I kind of stagnated for a long period of time where I reached a high level of self-development, and then I kind of mentally blocked and like checked out, and I was like, oh, like, is this like it? Like, I'm not sure I can go further. And I started to limit my own potential. And I think a lot of guys do this, right? And it's normal. And I did it for too long. I did it for too long. And so I'm here on YouTube to really document like what it is exactly that I want to achieve, and I want you guys to be on the journey with me. And the most important thing for me is progress above everything. It's literally moving the needle forward towards my goals. So you can imagine just how badly it feels to be stuck, stagnating, not moving forward towards my goals for months and months and months. And it's not like there is just one moment where all of a sudden you go, light bulb moment, and everything is fixed. No. The only way that I ever fixed this issue was taking the scary action. The scary action of just doing something, right? Because we want to be prepared. We want to make sure that we are 150% ready, okay, before we ever take any action. But what you'll find is that once you take action, everything that you wanted to feel is on the other side of the action that you take.